Hello and welcome to another episode of HBO Max. I am your host, Makenna. Joining me as always is Brandon. Brandon, how are you today?
Pretty decent.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's good. We love Dees. Dees
Yeah.
around
Oh
here.
yeah. Shout out to Dees.
Shout out to Dees. Dees is Dees, as they say. So this very special episode, we watched The Dark Knight, the Batman movie, the second movie in the trilogy that I did not realize it was the second movie of.
You
I was like,
didn't
okay.
know that there was Batman Begins?
No, I was like, okay, there's The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises. There was the third one. I don't hear anything ever about the third one. Yeah, no.
Yes. So normally when we do the like when we did like the Harry Potter, like obviously like we planned that out in advance why we were doing it. And normally like the other way we pick episodes, like we bring on a guest and the guest picks the episode. This one, and I guess we should talk about this a little bit because if you'll notice, Makenna is in another new apartment.
I know. Oh, that's true. This is my
She has recorded in 3 different living arrangements this year.
Yes, 3.
And I've done it in 2. This podcast has been moving around a lot.
We're a traveling podcast. We're like the Globetrotters. Is that what
Makenna,
they do? I don't know what they do.
They do. They travel, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think you meant the Wilburys, like the traveling Wilburys, but the Globetrotters travel, yeah.
Someone does.
Um,
Yeah, I'm in England, in London, UK.
yeah, this is one of the reasons why we've taken like 2 weeks off the podcast is we had to change the recording arrangement now that Makenna is 8 hours ahead of me? Yeah,
Yep.
A full workday ahead of me.
Yeah.
But I got a message from Makenna that on the plane ride to London, she watched The Dark Knight, and I was like, well, we might as well do that for HBO Max.
We have to. I watched Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1. We already did an episode on that. Go watch it. It's great. Harry Potter movie match time. So of course we had to do the other one, The Dark Knight.
Why did you pick The Dark Knight when you were on the plane?
That's a good question. So it was between a handful of movies. It was between that, Endgame, Deathly Hallows Part 2. There was I can't even remember. There were a few other movies too. Interstellar was on there. Frozen 2. All great contenders. But I was like, man, I should really watch The Dark Knight. I hear people like that movie.
And you've never seen a Batman movie before, right?
I've never seen a Batman movie. So I've now this year, as we know, I have successfully seen my first Superman movie and now my first Batman movie.
Well, the first Batman movie is significantly better than the first Superman movie you watched.
Oh yeah, 100%. I watched this one all in one sitting.
Which actually is this is a long fucking movie.
This is a long movie. I felt bad because I had watched it. It was a red-eye flight, and I didn't know if my screen was there was one scene in a nightclub and there were flashing lights, and I was really self-conscious because it was like sleepy time, and like we were over the Atlantic, we were knee deep into this plane ride, and I'm just flashing lights over my seat just from this nightclub scene.
You watch the movie on a plane. People just have to deal with that. I think that's part of the agreed upon rule set.
That's fair. All right. Well, next I'm watching the flashiest movie on my plane ride home now.
Just the end of 2001 over and over again.
Exactly.
Just on an 8-hour loop.
Yeah. What more could you want? It's the best thing to watch on an 8-hour flight. It's great.
It's a good movie for a plane ride because it's fucking long as shit.
Yeah.
I will say I've seen this movie a lot, like a lot, and watched it the other day. No stops all the way through. Movie rips.
Yeah.
It keeps you engaged.
It does. It really does. Yeah. I mean, like obviously, I know the origins of Batman. I know how the Joker mostly works and everything.
Got bit by a radioactive bat.
Of course. That's yeah. And so I knew what was going. Well, no, that's gonna be a lie that we're gonna find out soon. That I really don't know what Batman is, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Well, I will say like they are like Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. They're obviously it's trilogy, right? It's a series of
Mhm.
movies. It's a sequel to Batman Begins. It doesn't really need to be a sequel to Batman Begins. Like, this is a movie that you can completely watch on its own because,
Yeah.
like, one, like, Gotham doesn't look the same
Oh,
at all.
really?
Yeah, no, like, we'll probably do Batman Begins at one
Mhm.
point now and stuff, and we'll get to it there. But like when they made Batman Begins, Christopher Nolan like sat his crew down and made them watch Blade Runner. And he's like, "That's what I want Gotham City to
I
be
read
like."
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, so there's like steam everywhere.
Mhm.
It's raining all the time. It's these super like torn apart buildings and stuff. And then this one, it's literally just Chicago. It's like it doesn't look like the same city at all.
Wow. Okay. So, like, is Batman Begins? Is that like the origin story of Batman? Like, is that what they do
Yeah.
in the first movie? Okay.
Mhm.
Who's is Scarecrow the villain in the first one?
I'm not going to spoil this. Yes, Scarecrow is in it.
Okay.
Scarecrow was sort of advertised as the main villain. That's where you
Okay.
should go with the Batman
Woo!
Begins cold. That'll be
I'm
fun.
excited. I'm now that I'm thinking about it, I've learned like watching the second movie and not realizing there's a first movie. Very par for the course because I did that with Silence of the Lambs last year with the books, which like once again you don't need to read the first installment to understand the second one. But I'm
Yeah.
realizing I'm sensing a theme with myself and not realizing first installments, and I should
A lot
probably
of the time, like a second installment, unless it's like adapting like the Two Towers, right? You can't go into that
Mhm.
without seeing Fellowship of the Ring. That's probably not going to work. But a lot of the times, like in these movies and stuff, like they build the second one to be seen almost as an independent movie, right? Because like it is the case with this one, way more people saw The Dark Knight in theaters than saw Batman Begins in theaters, and there was like way more
Interesting.
hype about this movie than Batman Begins
Oh,
was. Yeah.
huh. Well, yeah, I read like Christopher Nolan didn't think that there was going to be a sequel at first,
Mm-hmm.
and then here we are.
It ends with a teaser for the Joker, and it wasn't like they
Oh,
didn't have a plan for the Joker or anything. That was
mhm.
just like, if we'll just throw a teaser out there at the end, maybe get some excitement for a
Just
sequel.
in
And then
case.
they were like, okay, well then we'll do the Joker, and we'll figure out a way to make the Joker new. Which, yeah, they do a pretty good job.
Yeah, the Joker is terrifying. I still that was a big reason why I almost didn't watch it on the flight because it was dark out, and Heath Ledger plays the role very well. And I'm just a big scaredy cat, but
A lot of this movie's just in the day.
I know it is. But it's just, I don't. It's very good. It's very scary. Even Batman. Well, I have notes for Batman,
Okay.
but well, once again,
Yeah. Where do you want to start? You want to start with facts and figures?
let's start with facts and figures. The Dark Knight released July 18th, 2008, almost a number of years ago. 14? Is that 14? I don't know math. I think 14 years, almost 14 years ago.
That sounds right.
Listen, I don't do math. It had a budget of $185 million, box office over $1 billion, baby. $1 billion. And it was the first comic book film to receive. Oh, wait. That was a spoiler for. Hold on. I forgot another. I can't read my writing.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm skipping ahead. It was. Oh, no. It was also the first comic book film to make over $1 billion, I believe, in the box office. I don't know why I didn't write that down.
Really? I guess that makes it like movies weren't really making $1 billion until like the late 90s, so
Yeah.
like maybe adjusted for inflation, I bet 89 Batman had made more money, but
Oh. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. It was, of course, the highest grossing film of 2008. It is currently the 49th highest grossing film. It topped at number 4. Oh, yes. And it was, at the time, the highest grossing superhero film. It had 8 Oscar nominations, making it the first comic book film to receive major Academy Award nominations and wins. It won for Best Sound Editing and Best Supporting Actor. Won posthumously by Heath Ledger. And in 2020, it was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. It is... Oh, we already went over this. It's the second movie in a trilogy. Gotta make sure I remember that. It was, excuse me, the first major motion picture filmed with high-res IMAX cameras.
Yep.
At one point, they
It's just
did
the
I not?
opening scene. The opening scene is shot in IMAX. That bank heist,
Yeah,
that's shot entirely in IMAX.
love heists.
And
If
then
we know anything from HBO Max, we love heists.
if you went and saw a IMAX showing of I Am Legend, they would play that before the movie. That was it wasn't the first trailer we got. It was like one of the first things people saw of the movie was that opening shot, because it was like they got to use it to be like, this is what like IMAX, look how when it's
So
shot
cool.
for IMAX, look how crazy it is.
Oh, that's amazing. And then Heath Ledger based his Joker character on Sid Vicious, the lead singer of the Sex Pistols, and Alex from A Clockwork Orange. I'm a big fan of Clockwork. Well, I haven't seen the movie. I'm a little afraid to watch the movie because I liked the book so much. But I thought that was a cool time.
Quick correction: Sid Vicious, bass player for the
Bass player. Shit.
Bass
Sorry.
Yeah. And there's also I'm assuming most people have seen it by now. It's a pretty popular, but there's also like a lot of his performances based on Tom Waits. There's a famous interview on like probably like Carson, I think, if the dates line up, that makes sense. But he's like a late night show where he's talking, and Tom Waits sounds exactly like the way Heath Ledger talks in this movie. Because like, I don't know, have you ever listened to Tom Waits, Makenna?
I have not. No.
Really weird dude. He talks super weird, and he talks like this.
Oh no!
So yeah, he sounds like the Joker in that interview that he gives.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, I'll have to look that up then. Yeah, I have seen one Heath Ledger movie before this. It was 10 Things I Hate About You.
Great movie.
So good.
It's really good.
It's so good. So it's like having that Heath Ledger in my head and then going to the Joker. Like I can't even.
It's hard to see Heath Ledger.
Oh yeah,
because of the makeup and the way he's like making his face look and stuff.
Yeah,
it's hard to see him under there. And there are a couple scenes where it comes out, I think, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's so good. It's so good. He's so good. He won handful of awards as well. I only mentioned the Academy Award, but
the best supporting actor was huge because like the first comic book movie to win a major award, and obviously also like him dying right before the movie came out was a huge part of it and stuff. Mm-hmm. Also, the movie forced the Oscars to like change how they do stuff in the future because people were so upset that this wasn't nominated for Best Picture that they expanded the field from 5 nominees for Best Picture to 10.
I read about that, but my brain, interesting. Dark Knight. Let me tell you what, influential movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This was, I believe, also my first Christian Bale movie.
Really? First ever?
Yeah. Wait. When does Ben Affleck come into play?
He is the next Batman. He's in.
So Christian Bale is not Batman anymore.
He's not Batman anymore. No, he hasn't been Batman since I graduated from high school.
I'm a little behind.
A little bit, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, Batman. Okay, I have first question. Why does Batman put the voice on?
Okay, so this is something a little bit interesting because it's he does change his voice in Batman Begins, but it's very different. Like they go over the top with the voice changing in this one, and most of it's done in post production. And so it's like the reason, like obviously, like if you're gonna dress up and go pee people up, you're gonna change your voice, right? You're gonna talk lower. There are times in this movie where you can't understand him very well. Like he's like, especially like it's the end of the movie when he's like totally gassed. He's been running all night and stuff. He's at the end of the movie. It gets really bad in this one.
Like, it's when when Batman first shows up on the screen, I audibly laughed because I don't know, it was
Because
so
of the voice, like you heard the voice and you just
it's
laughed.
the voice and the outfit, just a man dressed up like a bat, like in this like serious circumstance.
Yeah, and I'll say like the bat suits. I don't like the bat suit in this one. I think it's one of the worst bat suits. Because it's like it doesn't look like, it's not that it doesn't look serious, but like I like what you're saying, like in that bank scene, right? Like it is just like, the fuck is this guy doing here dressed like this? Like if it was like, because in this one it's just like it looks like he's wearing like motorcycle pads and just like and like the helmet's all weird because like this is the first time they had a batsuit where he could turn his neck.
Oh.
Yeah, before like every batsuit, like if you ever go back and watch the Michael Keaton ones, because like the cowl and the cape and all that, it's all like one piece.
Oh, I didn't
And
know
so
about that.
he has to like do this throughout the entire movie, and he does that in Batman Begins too. This is the first time the guy playing Batman was able to turn his head, and because of that, because the helmet's so big but his neck is so tiny, it looks stupid as fuck. So yeah, I the voice, the voice is weird. Yeah,
Like I I didn't realize that that's not how like Christian Bale talks when he's Bruce Wayne as well. So when he starts talking normally, I'm like, wait a second.
Did it take you a minute to like figure out that was Batman?
Oh yeah,
That's so funny.
100%. It's man, I put together so many puzzle pieces in my head from just this movie alone. Also, I love that he wears the eye black, and I like imagining him putting it on, and then after a hard night, having to scrub his face, the eye black, like the next morning, it's probably like mascara, or like it's all runny and like it probably stains a little bit, and
so these movies sort of treat it like magic. Like a lot of the times, like he'll take off the mask and it won't be there. Yeah. But in the Robert Pattinson one, like you watch him put it on and stuff. And he's sitting in the Batcave with it off, and it's just like just smeared down his face and stuff. It's so good.
Oh, I have to watch that just for that, because it was like, Batman just has confused me so much.
Yeah, I guess this movie probably didn't help like make you less confused about Batman.
Oh no, I have more. I just have so many Batman questions. He never says where's Rachel. Like I don't think. Once again, this was like 4 hours into an 8-hour flight.
People in our community say where's Rachel. He's asking about Harvey. Where's Harvey?
Right? Yeah.
Where is he? Where's Harvey?
Where's Harvey? The Harvey Dent. Okay, let me talk about Harvey Dent for a second.
Okay.
Maybe like Harvey. I don't. Why did he flip? Because why did he flip? Because I have like a list of answers in my head, but I think it would be quicker if I just ask you.
The movie might not do a very good job of this if you're not familiar with Harvey Dent as a character. They do some stuff to kind of touch on it, right? Earlier in the movie, they say they have a nickname for him. It was Harvey Two-Face, right? That and then like you see him in the scene where I think it's after Gordon gets shot and he takes that guy out and like threatens to kill him, like he tortures the guy. That Harvey has it was really bad anger issues and stuff, and that they'll and so it's like essentially like he got real fucked up. Rachel died, and then the Joker pretty much talked him into like the system you were working in is what caused all this to happen, and you're never going to get anything done. You just got to go out and kill people, and so he's sort of manipulating what Harvey already believes into getting him to do bad stuff.
Interesting. Yeah. Harvey was obsessed with that coin.
Yeah, that's his deal.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't know. It felt like it went 0 to 100 real quick. Like he like brought the coin out every once in a while. It's like, fate, and then like dude was just everything based on that damn coin. Dude loves his coins. um,
They see McKenna because there are two faces on a coin,
yeah,
McKenna, and
right.
he
Yeah,
has two faces.
he is two faces. Um, his face very crispy.
Yeah, hard to look at.
It is. It
I
really
remember
it
the
like
first time they showed pictures of it,
mhm.
and it was like Jesus Christ, they
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, I
went
think
all
so.
out with the Two Face.
I read like Christopher Nolan did most of like almost everything like practically, but like Harvey Dent they had to do CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
They
cause
could have done
wow,
something practical, but like for what
yeah,
they're really trying to do with
right.
this one, yeah, you had to use CGI.
It once again between the Joker in Harvey Dent, I didn't get any sleep on that plane. That's a whole other story. But yeah, like when he went like because I didn't realize this was going to be Harvey Dent's like origin story type of deal where he got the Two Face or whatever.
Mm.
And when he went down that way, I was like, oh, it's happening. Yeah, that was yeah yeah Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent.
Um, I Yeah, I didn't realize that he was like the district attorney and everything. How did he get involved with Rachel? What? Who is Rachel? Okay,
Okay,
I know she's Batman's friend.
so she's a character from the first movie.
Okay.
She is the assistant district attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is sort of a weird thing that happens in these movies, but she is the assistant to the DA in the first movie, and it's implied that she's dating that DA. He gets killed, and then in between movies, Harvey Dent gets elected, and she starts dating Harvey too. So she just keeps dating her boss, the DA.
The DA. Wow. Okay, so who in this movie, other than Batman and Rachel, are in the first movie then?
Gordon is in the
Okay.
first movie. Alfred's in the first movie, obviously. Morgan Freeman's character, Lucius
Oh,
Fox,
right.
he's in the first one.
Hmm.
And that's pretty much it. Scarecrow, who
Oh.
appears at the beginning just as a bit. That's one of the in each. Like he has a little bit in Dark Knight Rises too. It's kind of like a joke.
Oh.
Um, and yeah, I think that's it.
Hmm. Interesting. Um. I lost my train of thought. So what in the first shoot? If we're gonna do the first movie, I probably shouldn't be asking a lot of questions about the first movie. I'm just curious about Rachel. What? Because like in this movie, it's like Rachel, Batman, will they, won't they, type of dealio.
Mhm.
And obviously she chooses Harvey. Like, does that happen in the first movie as well, where like she's like
Yeah,
trying to figure out her feelings?
she's like a friend of Bruce's from when they were kids, and then he runs
Mhm.
away, learns how to become Batman, and comes back to Batman. We'll do it when we get to Batman Begins. But
Okay,
it's
I
kind of like
realizing I don't know Batman origin
yeah.
story.
I mean, so there's a couple different ones. Like they've done it a couple different ways. The one that is sort of the most common one used now is based on some implied stuff from the comic book Batman Year One and a couple books from like the early days of Batman, and then like a lot of it is basically just copy paste Batman Begins now. Bruce Wayne, his parents get shot, right?
Mhm.
And then when he becomes like he drops out of college and just runs off to like go train with ninjas and go learn detective stuff, and like he basically did like he spends the next I want to say it's usually like about like 10 years or like the entirety of his 20s he goes off just learning how to be Batman. Then he comes back to Gotham around like his late 20s early 30s and starts being Batman.
In Batman time.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. I
Other ones, he's just like a rich dude who just decides to be Batman.
No, of course. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's what I had in my head was like parents died, Batman died.
That's like the classic origin story, like the
Mm-hmm.
original one, and then like what's in like the Adam West TV series. It's just like he's a wealthy dude who decides he's gonna fight crime because of his parents and whatnot, and so he just starts being a Batman. But like as comic books like go forward, there's always this push like to make like more depth in the character, more realism in the character and stuff. It's like, okay, well, if he's gonna be Batman, the world's greatest detective, also he's basically a ninja. Like, how did he learn to do all that? Okay, he spent his 20s hanging out with ninjas and learning detective shit.
Wow, Batman. Why a bat?
Okay, so um, in the Batman Begins, it's that he's afraid of bats. And so it's like sort of like a samurai technique of like imposing fear on your enemies, and so he's using the thing that he's afraid of to make them afraid of it. It's like a psychological thing in Batman Year One. I think it's Year One. He like he's like not Batman at first. He's just like going around beating people up and shit and like trying to do like all of his stuff. And then like one night he gets like super fucked up and like he almost dies. Like the police are like after him and they burn this building down. It's a whole deal. And like he's sitting in like his library or whatever, and he's like about to like give up because like he's gotten so messed up he doesn't think that he's gonna be able to do it, and he's like about to die because he hasn't like gotten medical attention. Like he needs Alfred to like sew him up and stuff. And so like it's this weird ass scene where he's like holding the bell and he's like, if I ring the bell, Alfred will come and save me, but if I don't, I'll just sit here and die. I don't know what to do. And like he's like I think he's like talking to his like parents, his dad or whatever at the time, like the ghost of his dad, not like literally a ghost, but just like having a conversation with his dead dad.
Right.
And then like a bat busts through the window and he's like, yes, father, I will become a bat. Like he takes it as like a sign for like his dead dad.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, it works. I mean, like obviously, like it's one of those things. Like it reads better than like explaining it to you panel by panel would, where it just sounds like nonsense.
I think we need to start a new series where you just explain panel by panel comic books to me, and then
I can do that.
See.
Yeah.
There we go. So what? Okay. Batman's purpose. All right. He just beats up good guys, bad guys. My bad. Okay, why? Because it really hurt my brain in this movie. Why does it seem, at least to me, sometimes the police and the government hate Batman, but sometimes they love him? Like at the end of the movie, like obviously he takes the blame for Harvey's death or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like Harvey was a bad guy, so like why? And like it's not the first time that he's
I've heard like a lot of people have that like with the ending about why they're doing stuff. Mm-hmm. I like a lot of people have had that confusion the first time they watch it and like what's going on, because this movie just fucking like moves so fast. Like, and it's so long and there's so much shit in it. People like there's so much stuff to miss in this movie. So Batman is a vigilante, so technically he's a criminal, right? What he's doing is not illegal. Gotham City is like so corrupt, like the mafia are involved with like the whole thing, like you see it in the movie, right? Like they're trying to clean up the city, but the city's so corrupt. So the police are sort like, and Gordon especially, are sort of like agreeing to work with Batman because what he's doing is like overall helping. I'm using this in quotes. I know that the people have a lot of opinions about Batman, but it's a story about a guy in a cape with a fucking race car, okay? We don't need to get into the social, economic implications of Batman. Batman is helping the city. He's helping the cops because like even like the police are not able to do their job of cleaning up the streets because of how corrupt the city is. So they view Batman as, you know, like a sort of necessary evil, sort of. Mm-hmm. So they are working with them, but like also like not officially working with them, right? And so at the end of the movie, the reason that they Batman takes the fall for it is because of the big RICO case that they did to take down the mafia in Gotham. If if Harvey goes like comes out like Harvey just killed a bunch of people, that case is going to completely fall apart because one, like he killed people who were implicated in that crime, like people who were going to go to trial for that law. The lawyer on the opposing side just went and killed them, so that case is going to get thrown out of court.
Right.
So essentially, in order to keep all the progress that they've made with Harvey, Batman is going to take the fall for everything that Harvey did.
Okay.
Yes. It's so much is crammed into that last scene of like why Batman's doing it. It honestly took me like a couple watches to like get it figured out of exactly what's going on in the movie.
So, like, theoretically, if Harvey lived,
Yeah.
would he still be doing his... Is he still a DA by the time
Yes.
that... So, like, would he still be, like, doing lawyer shit?
So one thing I think this movie actually does really smartly is the degree to which Harvey is fucked up and he's denying like the skin grafts and stuff. He's going to die. No matter what, he's going to die.
Right.
Like you can't just live with a giant open wound on half your body. So like, yeah.
Why does he deny the skin grafts?
I assuming he just wants to die.
He just wants to die.
Yeah. I assuming that's his plan.
Why?
Oh well, he's insane.
Okay.
Like he's obviously insane, right?
Right.
And like
Yeah.
everything just fell apart. Like all the stuff with the Joker, Rachel's dead, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm assuming he's just like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah. He's out. The hospital scene with the Joker. Joker, incredibly clever. Every time, like, when he was in the jail and, like, he, like, had everything all figured out, like, how he's gonna escape.
Okay, here's the deal.
Okay, yeah.
In this movie, the Joker is fucking magic. What he's doing makes absolutely no fucking sense. No matter how you try to put it together, like all these plans. Like if you break it down, just like at a very basic level, all the shit that he's doing requires literally just magic to make it work.
Right.
Like one of the like the opening robbery scene, right? The getaway plan is physically impossible. So a school bus drives backwards into a bank, and when you get out, when the bus leaves, you see what that road looks like. It is not possible to drive a bus at the speed required to bust through a brick wall. And then he just drives out into all the other buses, and none of the other bus drivers are like, "Hey, the bus in between me and the guy ahead of me, there's another like the bus just drove out of the bank, a hole in the bank."
Oh my! This is great. I love it.
How many goons has the Joker sewn bombs into?
So many.
How does he know that goon got picked up and is in that cell near enough to him to where he can blow it up?
All the goons got bombs.
When he kills the Batman imposter and he throws him onto the mayor's office.
Yeah.
Like just the amount of math that it requires to figure out how much rope you need to do that.
Oh my. Okay, what's the Joker's origin story?
In this movie, like, I mean, so what are like the basic tenets of the Joker is that like in the modern interpretation of Batman, the Joker doesn't have an origin story.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've done it a couple times. Like you see what they do in this movie where he makes different origin stories up.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of his deal. Nobody knows who the Joker is. Nobody knows why he's doing what he. Well, I mean, he's doing what he wants to do just because he thinks it's fun, I guess.
Yeah. Joker doing Joker shit. Wow, that's interesting. I like that. I like that it's can be whatever. And then my train of thought once again out the window. Um oh, another thing I wanted to bring up about Batman. I like when he just pops up. He's off screen then, and someone else is talking, and then that
You're talking
person
about the
turns around.
party? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, you're like
and
where he disappears.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's a staple of Batman.
that's a Batman staple.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's like a.
what is this party scene that you're talking about?
So when they have the party,
Or-
right, and
yeah.
the Joker's there, and he's like looking for Harvey, and he like gets Rachel, right, and he's like, oh, you got a little fight in you. I like that. And then Batman shows up, he's like, well, then you're gonna love me. So it's like a party full of people, right? And Batman just like appears behind the Joker. Nobody was like, hey, it's Batman. Thank God Batman's here now. None of the goons that are around the Joker were like, hey, boss, the Batman's behind you.
Oh my god. I need to rewatch this movie.
I've seen I've seen this movie so many times. Like there was like one of the things like it was like one of the few DVDs I had over at my dad's house for a while when I was in high school. I like go see my dad on the weekends and stuff. And so like I would just fucking watch The Dark Knight so many times. Like just watch, like it was before The Dark Knight Rises came out, so I would like watch Batman Begins into The Dark Knight like over and over again. I've seen this movie so many times that I'm at the point now where I watch it and like I'm just like nitpicking the shit out of it.
Yep.
I love Christopher Nolan. Like I like pretty much all of his movies. Go back and watch the episode of Tenet. I'm one of the only people I'm one of the only people who defends Tenet, and people don't like that movie. Okay, I defend Christopher Nolan when his movies don't make sense. This is a movie that has gotten like so much praise over the years and stuff, and like deservedly so. It's a great movie. There are so many plot holes in this movie. There's so much shit that doesn't need to be in the movie. Like the entire thing with Mr. Lau, the accountant, can be completely taken out of the movie and nothing would change.
Yeah. Let's deal with that.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't need to be there. I think there's theories that like they wanted to like there's like a thing movies will do where they'll shoot stuff in China and stuff for the Chinese market to make it do better there and get an assured release in China because they're picky about what movies get theatrical releases there. And so that might have been added in for that. It has some of the acting in this movie is really fucking bad. Like some of the extras in this movie, like the guy who, when they're going through the streets when they're like moving Harvey Dent after he says that he's Batman, the guy who's in the car with Gordon, such a fucking bad actor with the worst fucking lines. And he's just like, that's not good. Hope you got some good moves, buddy. Like, it's so bad.
It's like you're in a video game.
Yeah.
That got me. Gordon coming back. That was amazing.
Okay, so got me the first time too. Got everybody.
Right. Okay.
Why does it happen? Why does Gordon fake his death?
Yeah, wait.
There's literally no reason. It adds nothing to the plot. It's just a reveal for the audience when you get to that scene.
What?
It moves the plot forward for some like Harvey Dent. Like it pushes the plot forward for him, kind of. But like literally. And so what's the Joker's plan? That he knows that Gordon faked his death, so he's intentionally getting caught in that scene so that he can blow up.
Yeah, that doesn't. Why?
And it's only he fakes his death for 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, like also like the emotional distress he caused his family.
Yeah, like, why did they lie to his family that he died?
Yeah.
The cop who tells his wife knows that he's not dead because he's the guy who, when Gordon gets shot, he's there. He's the guy who's like, oh, he's dead. So he knew. When did they fake his death? Was it agreed upon that when he got shot, like, hey, you're going to take a bullet from the mayor and then we're going to pretend you're dead? Or was it like, oh, they got him in the hospital car and they were like, you know what? This is a really good opportunity to pretend you're dead. Like, what was the game plan?
What? That like,
Does the Joker know that Gordon's the best at driving the big cop cars? And if he gets Gordon out of the way, he's going to be able to get Harvey? Why the fuck does he do it?
makes sense. I also never made the connection until I looked up the castles. That's Gary Oldman.
Yeah, that's Gary Oldman.
There's a bug. I probably should have shut my window, huh?
That might have been good.
Yeah, we're just gonna Batman. So Batman. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay. So if the Gary Oldman faking his death thing wasn't bad enough,
Oh yes.
before we get to that, there is the most confusing and pointless scene I've ever seen in a movie that is good.
Oh. Wait, what would it be? Wait.
Okay, so let me try to break, because like just following the events of how we get to this thing is so fucking confusing. Because like there's like a cut like I think it's like every 2 to 5 minutes in this movie. Like I think the longest things in between like a sequence cut is about like 5 minutes, except for like the longer action pieces. Like, and that's like a common Christopher Nolan thing. Like he fucking moves through shit fast.
Right. Oh yes.
And when you're doing that in a fucking 3-hour long movie, it ends up there's just so much stuff in the movie. So like the Batman is monitoring a call where he hears him tell somebody that they'll find Harvey Dent at this apartment. And then he goes to the apartment and the guy there is dead. And there's a newspaper that the Joker has made. And Batman carves out the brick in the apartment.
Oh yeah. Okay.
To get a bullet. And then he fires a gun into a bunch of bricks to reconstruct, to like figure out like the way the bullet broke so that it can be put back together so they can get a fingerprint on a bullet. Mm-hmm. Okay, so one, you don't put your fingers on bullets. That's not like you put your thumb on the shell of a bullet, not on like the bullet of a bullet. It's like the bullet part's like pretty tiny, and then the shell's like that big. And then that gets him to a different apartment where he almost gets shot. Why? Why any of that?
Why?
I like I said, I've seen this movie probably 30 times. Mm-hmm. I have no fucking idea what's happening in that scene.
Does it do anything for the plot? I can't even remember. Okay, I didn't.
It gets Batman into that building when the mayor's getting shot because the window jumps open and then one guy goes like, shoots at the window, which like just seems like total. I guess they cleared those buildings out, but I was gonna say like totally reckless. Like, but yeah, it's. I've never gotten anybody to explain to me what the fuck's happening in this like 5 minutes of the movie. It's confusing as shit. Nothing happens because of it, and it, as far as I can tell, it doesn't like it feels like it was written for something else that got taken out of the movie, and then they just like slapdash put something in. Like, it's like it's stupid as fuck.
Yeah, I don't. I thought it was cool in the moment watching like the his technology work, but like
I think that's why it's in the movie. I think it is just for like to be like, look at how smart Batman is. Look at all the cool stuff Batman has. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't fucking like, and it's one of these things. It's like pure blockbuster directing. Like it's what Steven Spielberg's really good at. It's what Christopher Nolan's really good at, which is that like they're doing something so flashy and so quick that your brain, when you're watching the movie, never stops to go, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
Hold on.
It's like the end of Jurassic Park where like when the raptors are coming at him and the fucking T-Rex saves them and it's like,
Mhm.
what? How did the T-Rex get in here? There are no doors that are big enough for the T-Rex to fit in. Well, the last time we saw the T-Rex, every time it stepped, it like shook the earth. It literally like the famous shot is the glass of water shaking every time the T-Rex steps. So how did the T-Rex sneak up on these fucking raptors?
Oh my god, you're right. I never thought about it.
That's blockbuster directing.
Blockbuster directing's what? You can do anything.
Yeah, it's
Man, I'm gonna go with that voice.
the nature of film is really deceptive, and
Mhm.
guys like Christopher Nolan are really good at playing in that space. There's a shot in the next movie where Batman goes through a tunnel in day, and when he comes out of the tunnel, it's night.
How long's the tunnel?
Not very long. They
Not that
just
long?
know that Batman looks silly riding a motorcycle in the daytime, so they cut it to night when he gets through the tunnel.
Give us daytime Batman. We demand daytime Batman.
There's plenty of daytime Batman in that movie too. It's that movie's weird as shit.
That's the one with Bane, isn't it?
Yes.
He's got like the mask thing.
Yeah.
Does that movie explain the why he wears the mask or
I kind of. Yeah, kind of.
okay? And then the big parka, or is it just cold
I think that's
in
just because it
Gotham?
looks I think it does snow in that movie, and yeah, it's like Chicago, so it's probably pretty cold there.
Chicago.
But also it just fucking looks cool.
No, that's fair. Yeah. Bane's got to figure it out. Joker's got to figure it out. I like Joker's costume. He seems
Pretty
I like
solid.
his color palette: purple, green. Joker. Clown time.
The one scene where like it's like the Joker's like first real scene in the movie when he goes and sees all those mob bosses.
Oh, right.
That scene's so fucking good.
It's so good.
When he does the pencil trick, and then he's just got a bunch of fucking grenades in his jacket that are all wired together. That's awesome. It's got there's so many good jokes in that scene. So many good jokes. When he's like here's my card, and he hands him just a Joker card, like there's no information on it. That's fucking funny as shit.
So good.
He does the so you think you just steal from us and walk away? Yeah. Like that line delivery from Heath Ledger is so fucking funny. Like that entire scene is just like, yeah, that's the best. This movie also has like my favorite Bruce Wayne scene of all time. Because like a good Bruce Wayne scene is very important to a Batman movie, right? Because Bruce Wayne has to appear stupid as fuck to the public, right? He has to appear like he's a stupid asshole at all times. That way, nobody would ever think that guy's Batman, right? He's too dumb, and he would never bother to help anybody in his life.
Of course.
My favorite one of all time is in this movie, and it's when he drives his Lamborghini into that car that's gonna crash into the guy.
Yes.
And Gary Oldman's talking to him. He's like, "That's a very brave thing you did. What, trying to catch the red light? What, trying to catch the right?" He's like, "You don't know you didn't try to save that car? No, why? Who's in it?"
Who knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman?
Rachel. And Alfred,
Really?
obviously.
And Alfred, of course.
But Lucius, like the people he's working with, because Lucius makes him
right.
all this stuff. Alfred does the thing. Rachel's the only person who like knows that he's Batman.
Did he tell her, or did she find out? Or is that in Batman Begins?
I think he tells her.
Aww.
I can't quite remember.
Damn. He tells her that he's Batman, and she still chooses Harvey Dent over him? This is
so this is a thing. The podcast Tom and Jeff Watch Batman pointed this out, where they watch all the Batman stuff. They did like a big 2-part episode on The Dark Knight, which is hilarious, and like they really ripped the movie to shreds, even though they like it, of just like breaking down like every fucking thing that doesn't make sense in it. But like they pointed this out to me, and I never like realized it before. But like in both of these movies with Rachel in them, she is a just absolute fucking bitch to Bruce the entire time. Like she seems like. And it's probably an issue of like when guys write women and they want to write a
Mm.
strong female character, normally the way that the easy way that they decide to do that is they just make the character a bitch.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's kind of what they do with Rachel. Like, she just sort of like everything that Bruce does, she like willfully turns it into him being a bad guy. Like when Harvey, when she's like, why wouldn't Bruce tell everybody that he's Batman? Why is he letting Harvey take the fall for this? Like, think about it for like 10 seconds, Rachel. Obviously something's going on.
Come on. Huh. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, yeah. She was a character.
Yeah, she's a pretty badly written character. She's probably the worst part of both of these movies, unfortunately.
Oh.
She could have like, and it's like she's a what's the character's name? The Phantasm.
Yeah.
She's like a version of what the hell is the character's name? Andrea Beaumont, who is the Phantasm in Mask of the Phantasm. Way better character. Bruce's relationship with that character makes way more sense. Yeah, go watch Mask of the Phantasm. I've told people this, but I think Mask of the Phantasm is a better movie than this one. I think it does a lot of the same stuff, but just better.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie still rips. It's still really good. It's like it's long as shit, and it's a movie that if you it's got a lot of loose ends, and if you ever start pulling at them, the entire thing starts to unspool.
Ooh. Yeah, it's I enjoy it. I can see why people. I see why people love Batman. People like
Yeah.
Batman.
This is the first midnight release I ever went to.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of talked about it at the beginning. Like this movie, like there was so much hype for this movie because like initially it was like they announced Heath Ledger's gonna play the Joker, and everybody was like, "Fuck that!" The fucking guy, the guy from fucking 10 Things I Hate About You is gonna be fucking Joker. Yeah, fucking right. That's awful. Obviously, then like they started putting out like there was like an ARG that went with this of like the Harvey Dent election and all this weird stuff going on in Gotham that you could play around with, and like the like end of that was clips of the video they watch when the Joker picks up the Batman imposter and like kills him in the meat locker, which that was. They just like gave Heath Ledger a camera and then like what was going to happen in the scene, and he shot it himself.
I think he did both, like that one and then the one he did with the news anchor.
Yeah, the news anchor who's the guy from 16 Candles.
Yeah, I was gonna say Anthony Hall.
Yeah,
or Anthony Michael Hall. I think he might be a middle name.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall. That sounds right. Yeah, he's the fucking nerdy kid from 16 Candles. Yeah, and like bits of that and like his voice, and then just like the like sort of like a really like darkly lit shot of his face, like the first things that came out, and it was like, oh fuck, this movie's gonna be wild. And then I think the reason they ended up adding in the Commissioner Gordon like faking his death thing was because of a lot of the hype around the movie. Was I believe that there were like rumors that came out that one of the returning characters from Batman Begins was going to die in this one, and so I think it was that's actually the thing that's like happened a couple times in movies, and so like they insert a fake death into the movie to like throw off the scent, because then you're like, oh, he died, and it's like, oh, but he came back. Oh, so they must have just like they only got part of the story. Like that's what in Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan, which is one of my favorite movies. There was like a script leak or whatever, where and like it got reported a bunch that Spock was going to die in the movie, and that was part of like Leonard Nimoy's agreement with the film, was that he was only going to come back if Spock died and stuff. And so like everybody knew it was like, oh, Spock's going to die in the movie. So what they do is in the very first scene of the movie, they kill Spock in like a training segment, so he's not actually dead. and then everybody's like, oh, okay, they just pretended to kill Spock, and at the end of the movie they actually kill Spock.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Rathacon rips. That movie's awesome.
Yeah, apparently. Oh my gosh. So does in the comics does Rachel actually die, or
Rachel's not a character. Rachel was made for
Rachel?
this iteration of her.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Huh. All right. Movie. Good movie.
Solid movie.
Solid movie. Good plain movie.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'd watch this on a plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes 3 hours go by pretty quick.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was great, dude. I watched Deathly Hallows, I watched Dark Knight, and then I tried to sleep for 3 hours, and then I played Sudoku for 3 hours instead. I probably should have watched another movie. But yeah, no, it kept me up. Yes, do you have any other final parting thoughts about The Dark Knight? I'm sure we will revisit Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises at some point.
Yeah, we should. We'll probably get around to those someday.
Batman movie magic time.
No, I think that's about it. I can't think of any I feel like I have a bunch of facts that if you ever brought something up, I would have a bunch of Dark Knight facts for you and stuff. But I've seen this movie so many times. It's been part of my life for so long now that it's just it's just there. It's just it is a part of me. And if you brought something up, I'd probably have some notes.
I'm sure if/when we revisit or go to the other movies, we're gonna unearth all of the fun facts.
They flipped that truck for real. When he flips the truck,
they did.
Yeah. That was like we talked about with Tenet, where every Christopher Nolan movie, pretty much since this is the one that kind of started it, has a big special effects moment that's completely practical. This one was flipping the truck, and I had the special edition Blu-ray when it came out. As soon as it came out, fucking got that special edition Blu-ray. Came with the Harvey Dent coin and stuff. All kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, there's an entire it's an hour-long segment on that Blu-ray about how they flipped the truck and stuff. And yeah, he wraps the thing around and shoots up, and it goes just completely straight up. They had to come up with some really cool shit about how to make that happen.
That's amazing. We should do an episode on that, just that DVD, that hour-long DVD. BoneCon. Yes, good movie. Watch it. It's on HBO Max, so why wouldn't you go watch it? Yeah, everyone's got HBO Max.
That's the point of the show.
Exactly.
Also, if you're listening, you've probably already seen it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Most people have probably already seen this movie.
Yeah.
I'm sketching up.
I kind of leaked this one ahead of time about what we were doing, and people were surprised to find out that you had never seen a Batman, and a lot of people were like, "She's starting with The Dark Knight? Why?"
Listen. I haven't seen movies. We're watching all of them. Speaking of social media, where can the people find you, Brandon?
They can find me at Jose Ruckus. At Jose Ruckus. There you go. Yeah. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Maybe. Actually, no, I don't think so. TikTok. I think I meant to say TikTok.
TikTok. You gotta go TikTok. And other social media accounts, but I like the TikTok because I'm on the TikTok. I think I'm the corn on the cob videos on TikTok. You can find me on Twitter at PotterPants212. Link in my bio. You can find me everywhere else. I think my Instagram's also in there. I don't really post much, but if you want, you can look at it, I guess. You can follow the show on Twitter at HBO Max, HBO Maks. Brandon runs it very well. I always like to see, as I've mentioned a million times before, what he tweets, because that's the only Twitter account I have on tweet notifications. But yes, follow the show on your favorite podcasting services. You know the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's
so
on
I just found out that we weren't available on like Apple this entire time.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, I had to go do some stuff to get us on Apple. Like I had to like back end stuff over there. Like it doesn't
Um.
have like Anchor doesn't have like the simple like push off for that, I guess.
Oh,
But yeah,
interesting.
we should be on everything now.
Yay! Run everything.
Review, subscribe, listen to all the
Yes.
episodes many times.
Yes. Do it, please. We
For
want
the
to.
the
Yes.
the YouTube audience, uh, what's comment? What's your favorite Joker? Who's your favorite Joker? What's the Joker do?
It's Joker time.
Yeah, what? Just comment on the video. Joker time. Okay. If you made it to the end of the video, so we know you watched to the end, just comment Joker time.
Joker time. Yeah, it's Joker time. And with that concludes the Batman.